If we were to look at the 3 key strategies to integrating Adobe Commerce or Magento 2 with an ERP or an order fulfillment system, we probably would start it like this. Number 1 is about solutioning or designing. Number 2 is about building it out. And number 3, bring the duct tape. In all reality, though, the solution is it is much more intricate, much more nuanced, and it requires a very solid knowledge of the Adobe Commerce side and then also the needs on the ERP side. In today's Knowledge Bite, we are going to look at the solution, part of the solution on the Adobe Commerce side. It's obviously, there's way more that we can dive into, and we've already kind of been touching on some of these concepts here over the past couple of weeks. But this one is especially important. As always, we look at a question, a problem, come up with 3 solutions, and then identify which one of those solutions is correct. And I love this way of thinking because it helps us expand our repertoire of possibilities. And so maybe an option is not necessarily the right option this week, but in a future week, it actually might be a reasonable option. We at Swift Audit are dedicated to helping developers become better, more powerful, more capable in their profession as Adobe Commerce developers. So go over to swiftauto.com and find you some of our training there. Let's take a look at this question. You are building a module that integrates with a third-party inventory management system. The system requires some product-related information that will be specific to the integration, time of last sync, and a unique identifier. Keeping maintainability and modularity in mind, what is the best approach to take for storing this data? We have several options here. A, create a custom product attributes. B, create extension attributes. Or C, kind of a long answer here, create a new database table with the foreign key relationship between the custom table and the catalog product entity table. Now, understanding Adobe Commerce, we have these 3 options, and I would say each one of them has an element of viability in it. The question is, which one is the best for the scenario we just talked about? We are integrating with a third-party inventory management system. We are talking about products. And so ultimately, that's why we have answer A here. Whoops. Answer A is about creating custom product attributes. Now, with these product attributes, well, in Magento, you can create as many as you want. Probably not a great idea to create 1,000 of them, but you get the idea. You can create a whole bunch, and they're nice, and they have structured types, so you can create an integer. You can have a drop-down list. It's pretty powerful. But here's the thing. In this question, we were given a clue as part of our solutioning here for this. You might say this is a bit more on the architectural side of a question, but it's still really important for every developer to be thinking this through because not everything is architected out at the time where the technical blueprint is built. So check this out. Back in our question here, we have 2 different pieces of information, time of sync and unique identifier. So these 2 pieces could be done with a product attribute. So I would say that's probably a valid answer. So we're not going to discount answer A right here. We're going to stick with it as being a probable answer. Let's move on to answer B. We can create extension attributes. Now, extension attributes are basically, in my opinion, a very manual process, and that would be one of the cons of using extension attributes. But we can basically attach a row or rows from another table into our data structure. So we have our product data structure here, but then we can take our another data structure like an inventory management sync, and we can actually then attach it into the product information area, which becomes really powerful. It is up to us to decide what row or rows are attached in there. We have control then over saving it as well. We have control because it's so entirely manual. Like some things are in Adobe Commerce, but other things aren't. I don't know. It's always felt manual to me. Ultimately, this is where plugins come in. I'm going to give you a quick review as far as what this looks like here. It's pretty basic. It's pretty easy to see exactly how this plays out here. I'm going to show the code on my screen. Now let's pull up the extension attributes here. Basically, I created this for the order interface, same concept for products. We created against an interface, and all we do is we specify a name, and then we set the type. And so this interface must have a concrete implementation as defined through DIXML. That's in other videos or in our training material, we go into that type of a concept. But then we use plugins to create the extension attributes. Basically, this extension attribute means, or we basically create it by using a factory, and then we load in this information, and then we assign this information into the extension attributes, and then we reset the extension attributes. Basically, create the extension attributes, load the data, and then make sure the extension attributes have been properly set. There's also, you can reverse that out for saving it. But the cool thing is, we are able to, I'm pulling up Postman here, we are able to then see this in our API results right there. The other cool thing is, we are able to create permissions. So in our ACL.xml file, in our ACL.xml file, we can tie it back in with this extension attributes.xml file, and we can then limit who has access to these different extension attributes, which means this data can be private to some users of the API and not to others, especially for some financial information or maybe customer information records. That sort of thing can be really helpful in that department. So I'm assigning the greatest weight right now to answer B. Let's look at answer C just in case, though. Create a new database table with a foreign key relationship between the custom table and the product entity table. Now, here's the honest truth of this. This is kind of the step that you need to take in order to make extension attributes work. So it's answer B was a little bit less information. C has more information, but in reality, C is not the full answer. So that would be an incorrect answer at that point. So yes, this is important to do. This is what we would be doing with extension attributes, but it's kind of like not the full story. You know, when you have a kid and you ask them if they did it, and well, no, they didn't do it, but they had the idea to do it and somebody else did it, right? Same kind of concept here. So C is not the right answer. Let's look at the right answer here. The right answer is B. Let's create some extension attributes. Folks, we can get away with using custom product attributes, but I wouldn't recommend it. So the answer I have chosen here for this week is B. I would love to hear your thoughts. Is this crazy idea? Is there a better way to do it? Drop that in the comments below, and I would love to hear more of your feedback. Have a good one.